Yo, what is up, family? I hope you guys are all doing amazingly well. We are in the M3. And it's been a while since we have even shown this car on the channel. I can't even remember the last time I made a video in this car on the channel. It's been that long. But I still have this car. A lot of people are like, dude, where's the M3? You don't even make content on it anymore. We miss that car. Oh man, I've just been so perplexed with what to do with the E92 M3 because I find myself loving this car and wanting to move on from this car and just in between so many phases with this car. Last week, I wanted to get rid of it, get an F80. This week, I want to keep it, turn it into a track car. It just changes so much every week because I feel like if I do sell this car, I feel like I'm going to regret it. And the reason I feel that way is because that's exactly what happened after I sold my E90 M3. I don't know, man, just single hump, manual. Like the only drawback about this E92 M3 is that it doesn't have the carbon roof, but like part of me just wants to say fuck it and cut this roof off and put one on because I can get one for like 1,500 bucks out of a crash car. I'm legitimately undecided as to what I should do with this car. For right now, I think I'm going to keep it. I just hate flip-flopping like this. Like I don't like that, you know, my mind is continually changing, but it's like, what am I going to do? That's just me being me, and I'm just going through the motions, I guess. The E92 M3 for me has really been like a daily driver car for the past, I don't know, 6 months or so. I've literally been daily driving this car every single day to do whatever I need to do, whether it's to go to the shop or run errands or whatever. This has been my car, and it's kind of proven to me that you can daily drive a car like this. It's really not that bad. It's not ideal in my opinion. Like I would much rather have just like a DCT car that's a little bit more comfortable to drive, just because this is a little bit more work when you're in traffic and everything. But overall, it really hasn't been that bad. And for the most part, I've returned this car to stock for the most part. I did buy stock shocks for the car, but they had Eibach springs, so I just put it in with Eibach springs. But I mean, this car hardly even looks lowered with Eibach springs and 18-inch wheels. It's got terrible fitment. The wheels look awful on this car, in my opinion. I really don't like the gold on gold. I think it looks kind of stupid. This car has like almost become sort of like a part spin car a little bit because the gold Apex VS5 RSs are actually off of my 1 Series, but I really do prefer the black VS5 RSs on this car, and I will put them back on this car once my new wheels arrive for the 1 Series. But you know, this car is just it's like whatever I have that works, that, you know, makes this car easier to drive has just kind of been the thing that I've thrown back onto this car. And next, I do have brakes. I have a full, complete stock brake setup coming for this car that I bought used. I'm putting all of the stuff back on this car that's factory, and I'm taking the F80 brakes and actually putting them on the 1 Series along with like the M3 subframe and everything. I just felt like with that car, it makes more sense because that's like the project car, and really like the focus should be put all the good parts on that car. Like the Öhlins road and track coilovers are going on that car. Like all of my good stuff is going on to the E82, the 135. Which is fine, you know what I mean? Like this car, right now, its duty has been daily driving, and I don't need all of those nice parts on this car. Like even the Recaro Sportsters, obviously I removed them because why would I just tear up, you know, some really nice Recaros in a car that I'm daily driving? Like that just doesn't make sense to me. I kind of was on the fence about selling the Sportsters because they're in mint condition, dude, and they're just like sitting in storage, and I feel bad about that. I guess I could just hang on to them and, you know, use them on the next build, because the truth is, like, those Sportsters work in pretty much every BMW, you know? We'll see what I end up doing, but for now, I think I'm going to hang on to this car. I did end up just pulling the trigger on a different exhaust system for the car so I could have a little more noise. Like, I threw the stock exhaust system back on and got rid of the Valvetronic. I miss having the sound. I really do miss having the sound. The Valvetronic sounded okay. It was just a little too Mustang for me. Like it didn't quite have the resonation that I would have preferred. So I'm doing a different exhaust system from a different exhaust company with a different exhaust setup, different resonators and all that stuff. And I think it's going to be I think it's going to be better. It's going to be a little more subdued, but I think it's going to be like a deeper and better tone. The Valvetronic one just sounded like loud, you know, which works great for like content and shit because people are like, oh my God, it's so loud. But to be honest with you, like, just because it's loud doesn't mean it's good, you know what I mean? So like, it didn't really sound good in my opinion. So the next round is going to be a little bit different exhaust. It's gonna be titanium, so we're gonna try some different things out. Yeah, so this car, you know, this car has really just been, it's been one of those cars where like I just love it so much and I don't want to have to get rid of it, but then I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, if I buy another car, I gotta put this car somewhere. I can't keep all of my cars at the house, so I would literally have to like pay to keep this car somewhere, and I'm like, that's stupid. Like, why would I do that? I don't know. I'm just really having internal struggles with whether I should keep the E92 M3 or not. I've kind of been leaning towards keeping it. You know, I was pretty much set on selling it a few months ago, and then I was like, nah, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna keep it because of how much maintenance I've done to it. That's another thing. Like, I've put in so much money and like time into maintaining this car, and it's so well sorted through right now that I don't know, I kind of feel bad for getting rid of it after I've done all of this work to it, you know? So yeah, I don't know, man. I just kind of at this point right now where the car is serving its purpose. Like, it's my daily driver and it's doing it really well, man. Like, ever since I lifted it ever since I removed the coilovers and brought the car up to an appropriate height where I don't have to be dodging everything, it's been like a pretty effortless car to daily drive. I would say that there's a lot of better options out there than, you know, daily driving a old V8 car like this, but, you know, also it's a pleasure to drive it because when I'm daily driving and I do have those opportunities to be on like open roads, it's a really nice car to be on open roads with, you know? Like, it still handles super well, and it's responsive, and it feels good. Like, it just still has all of those things that I love so much. And I guess the side of me that, you know, is like, well, maybe we should sell it, is the side of me that's like, well, is there something else that would be better suited in the garage than this car? And obviously, you know, for a minute there, I was really contemplating getting an F80. Like, I was on the hunt, dude, and like there was a few deals that I almost went through with, and it just didn't end up working out. And I don't know if that's just like God telling me, yo, just keep the E92 M3, or if I need to further explore going into the F8X. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, we want to see you in an F80 M3, and trust me, I would like to do both. Like, honestly, like, that would be ideal. If I had it my way, I would really like to turn this car into a dedicated track toy, because I think that this would be like the perfect car for that. These are expensive to track. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, this is an expensive car to track, but done right, you know, you can get away with it. And I think that this can be a really good track car, you know, especially for someone like me who's not like super skilled at the track. I have a little bit of experience, but like, there's still a lot of learning to do. This would be a great car to do it with. In the ideal world, that's what I would do. Like, I would turn this car into a dedicated track toy, you know, and then I would probably daily drive something like an F80 or, I don't know, X3M or something like that. But yeah, so that's my confliction. And, you know, I continue to see content with other E92 M3s, and I'm like, oh man, I just feel like I'm gonna regret it if I get rid of this thing, because I still just love these cars so much. Like, the E9X platform is just, E9X and E8X is like hands down my favorite BMW platforms. And that's just me. I feel like it's the perfect in-between of like raw and not too modern and not too overly done, and you can still feel everything in the car, and you get a lot of that like natural feedback from the road in these cars. You just don't get that with any of the newer cars. Like, yeah, this isn't the fastest car. It's slow as balls, to be honest, but but at least you get the things that are really enjoyable, and like, I'm able to use all of the power in this car all of the time, you know what I mean? Like, versus a G80, like, you're not going to use all the power in that car all the time. So and this still like is just a savage car, like on all of the roads, like mountain roads, whatever. This thing just rips. I don't know, man. I figured I would just kind of, I'm not going to go crazy with the car right now. Like, I'm just kind of gonna sit with it for a little bit longer and like really think about this and decide what I want to do. But you know, the car still has the wrap on it. Like, we'll get out, I'll show you guys what the car looks like right now, because it does look a little bit different than like when you guys last saw it. I did remove a lot of the things that I had on the car because I just didn't think like they were necessary, and I really wasn't trying to be rolling around with like a super modified like E92 M3 as a daily driver. So I did remove some things, but that was in the name of daily drivability, I guess you could say. I mean, mean, this car doesn't even have 100,000 miles on it yet. And like, that's kind of, I mean, it's not low, but like that's respectable for these cars. Like the majority of these cars, you guys, they're 100K up and they're just clapped out. And like this car, this one in particular is a really good example of one that is sorted like mechanically and maintenance. And like this car needs nothing. Like you could just drive this thing every day like I have been doing and have zero issues. And you know, I don't know, man. You guys tell me what you think. Should I keep the E92 M3? I mean, it's just, dude, it's just still such a great car, and I just have so much love for this chassis. I feel like I would really regret it down the road. Maybe not right away. I'd be really excited about the F80 or whatever else I got, but I feel like down the road, I'd be like, man, that was a big mistake. So as you guys know, we have Beamer Invasion coming up. Next week, I actually ship out the car. So I can't believe how fast that show got here, man. It just came out of nowhere. But the 1 Series is ready. I have enclosed trailer coming next week on Wednesday to pick it up. And then it will be shipped down to Orlando, Florida, where I will see, hopefully, you guys. And but for that show, I really need to get some new detailing products. So I'm heading over to Parks Detailing, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I've been using these guys forever. They have all of the products that you need, really high quality products, like good shit, really good brands, and they also do like PPF and stuff like that. So these guys are the best, man. Like they're not the cheapest. I'm just gonna say that right now. They are not the cheapest, but they are the best. And I always go there before I leave for like a car show trip. I always stop there and I just buy like a ton of shit, like just re-up. I mean, I'll probably spend like $500 today in just like products that I'm gonna use. Oh, this car's so quiet. So I do miss the noises that this car used to make when I had a bunch of stuff on it. And I think that that's why I'm like at this point where I'm like, man, we gotta get an exhaust on here, because that was so fun, dude. The exhaust on this car just brings it to life. But I do sincerely think that the exhaust that I had on the car really wasn't the best setup for this car. I think that there's a much better setup that we can find. So that's what we're gonna do. Anyways, we're almost to Parks Detailing. Let's go inside and grab some products. This is not fair. I have to come here and see this on this day while I'm making this video. And these are both beautiful, man. Beautiful cars. F80 M3s and Silverstone Metallic. Whew, it's beautiful. All right, let's go inside. So just left Parks Detailing, got a ton of products for Orlando. Just a lot of things that I needed. And then I also picked up some things for at the house, just for washing, routine washing and whatnot. And I'll show you guys all that stuff when we get back to the house. I had a long conversation with all the guys there. There's a bunch of people over there just chopping it up, man. I saw the two F80s and the E92 M3 in the center. It's like, oh man, they're just like tempting me to do bad things, like buy more cars. But dude, the F80 really is just like such a good, well-rounded vehicle. And I don't know, I was talking to them about it and they're like, dude, you should really just make that car like a dedicated track car and just enjoy it. Like let it be like that educational tool for you, which is exactly what it would be. And we've never really done like a track build on this channel. Like we had the E36, but that did not pan out to be what I wanted it to be. And I just made it too nice and it ended up like getting sold for way more money than it was worth. I don't know, I learned a lot from that car, that's for sure. But like this car, that's the thing about going down that dedicated track car road. Like there is no turning back. It's like you're basically just donating that car to track content because you're gonna lose a lot of money on it. Like it significantly reduces the value of the car. So if you're worried about that, It's not the smartest move, but I do think that this would be a good car to do it to. And like the only thing for me would be, you know, I'd probably end up chopping this roof off and just going with a carbon roof. But outside of that, man, this would be a fun car to turn into like a real track car. And I feel like I'm at the point where I could do it, you know, like it would be okay, and I could like put this somewhere and just have this car only be track content focused. This car, I feel like, you know, I really wouldn't do anything performance wise. Like I would just do my exhaust setup and then like maybe just a very simple plenum setup. And yeah, it has underdrive pulleys on it, like bearings are done, you know, it's kind of like the perfect setup. Outside of that, I really wouldn't do anything. I would maybe tune it, but that's it. Like just fucking take it to the track and run it like that. And I think if it was properly maintained, like it would probably be fine. I do want to do injectors on this car and then valve covers. Those are two things that I do need to get done. But I don't know, I guess I'm curious to see what your guys' thought is on it. You know, I've been like really toying around with the different ideas to kind of directions to take this car. And I think this car being a dedicated track car would be really cool. I think it would be good for content. I think it would help me become a better driver, and it would be something new that we've never really done. Like I would just honestly just devote this car to that. Like I would be very devoted to it. Whereas like we would still have the project cars and do all that stuff. So all right, so check out all the products that we picked up for Orlando. New drying towel. These are supposed to be really good. Klin, dude, Klin makes some of the best towels. Got a new mitt from Klin as well. Klin polish towels, rags, and then also just like everyday quick detailer rags and stuff like that. Got some new soap from Chemi. This brand makes really good shit. So this is the Gentle Snow Foam. Gonna be using that from now on. And then we've got, let's see what else we've got here. Motorplast. So this is going to be just like a dress up detailer for the engine bay, but it's not super glossy and like shiny and greasy. This is gonna be more of like an OEM finish, which is definitely my thing. This is an all-around surface cleaner, works really good on interior from also Chemi. Dude, I love that Chemi brand. They make some of the best shit. This is the quick detailer. It's called Finish from S-Tech. You're trying that out, and that is it, man. That's all we got. That's really all we need. I have Chemi wheel cleaner at home as well, which works really well. So if you guys are interested in any of this stuff, Parks Car Care, I get 5% off. Well, all you guys get 5% off if you use my link in the description. So the stock trunk is on. Pre-LCI taillights are back in. Got a random black badge. Like this thing just, it just looks like, I don't know, this car just looks confused in my opinion. Honestly, like a lot of people say that they like these wheels on this car, but I think they look really dumb. Like it's just my opinion, dude. The wheels are gold. The wrap has like a little bit of gold in it, and then you have the gold brakes. Like all of it is just, I don't know. In my opinion, looks really silly. I do not love this setup whatsoever. It's just kind of what I've had to daily drive the car, and I just put all this stuff on there. I did leave the carbon stuff on because the car is so high up in the air. I don't need to worry about hitting this. This thing is so freaking high off the ground. But everything else is just factory. Like I haven't really changed anything. This is how the car sits on the Eibach lowering springs. It's really not bad, but it looks pretty goofy with the 18-inch wheels. It's just like there's a huge gap. But, you know, for daily driving, it works out really well. Just notice this 5 Series over here, the entire tire is just destroyed off the car. What in the world, bro? Holy shit. Oh my God, it just destroyed everything up front too. I do not understand why people drive when they get flat tires like that. Like, bro, you know how much damage this thing probably did? Oh, windshield's all cracked. Damn, man. I hate to see it. Nothing worse than seeing a car that's just not properly taken care of. That is such a bummer. How random is that? It's just like I'm just filming right here. Totally random. So anyways, that is where we are at with the E92 M3. Man, I am really leaning towards doing just like a track setup for this car. I think it would be really fun. The thing is, like, once you commit to that, you commit to that. There is no turning back. If I decide to make this thing like a track toy, that's it. We're all in. That is going to be its next leg of life. Like, it'll be devoted to track. But I think for what I do and what you guys are into and like the driving footage and everything, setting this car up for only track would be fun content. And I think also it would be good to have a car on the channel in the garage that is just a dedicated track car. You probably wouldn't be seeing this much on the street anymore, like maybe in the mountains a little bit, but once it's track, and it's gonna be set up for that. But I don't know, you guys tell me what you think. Is that a good idea? Should I go down that road? Personally, I think it is. I've had a lot of time to think about this. Been contemplating this for a few months now. The only thing about these cars on track is they can be expensive comparatively to like other cars that you can pick up and like modify for cheaper that might be a bit more reliable. But I've also heard of people who track these cars and they've had really good experiences if done done properly. I just know that this thing would be like the perfect track queen, and my heart is telling me do that. My heart is like telling me just make it a track car, dude. Just make it a dedicated track car and go pick something else up that we can just enjoy in like daily drive. So I don't know, you guys tell me what you think down below, but yeah, that's how the car is currently sitting. And I don't think I'm gonna be selling the car, man. I know that I've kind of like gone back and forth on this. I don't think I'm gonna be selling this car. I think that this car is gonna be becoming a track car. That's what I think is gonna happen. Anyways, I would love to get your guys' opinion. I mean, you guys are the ones who are watching the video. Like, is that content that you guys wanna see? Do you guys wanna see dedicated track car content? If you do, I will do it. I will invest in this car and turn it into a track car, and we will make that sort of content in the future. Anyways, I appreciate you guys so much. We will see you in the next video.